allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Presido bá rúfin o. Máyégún wà mí. Alẹ́ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún Live. Thank you very much for joining me. As usual, please read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of this broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Máyégún today, Máyégún is live. And if you have done that already, thank you. In manifold, thank you. So tonight, we are starting from the alarm raised by Peter Obi, which has kind of put a lot of the Obidients on alert, because knowing the history of thiefnubu and his politics, there is a chance that a threat against Peter Obi should not be taken with levity. And Peter Obi himself has come out now to confirm that since that time, or since that day, he gave the State of the Nation address and advised thiefnubu to tamper justice with mercy, or tamper shege with mercy, rather. Shege with mercy. He has been receiving direct threats to himself and his family. The only one that is made public is that one from Felix Moka, the APC, a spokesperson. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the APC, the Akpanyo People's Congress, Al-Qaeda People's Congress themselves also came out to say, come on, man, don't be a snowflake. Nobody is threatening you. We are just replying to your jibe. You called, there's different. They said there's difference between criticizing government or advising government and then inciting people. To them, they believe that Peter Obi's criticism is not criticism. It is not opposition. It is, in fact, an incitement for asking thiefnubu to stay back in Nigeria and possibly travel around the states in Nigeria to fill the pulse of the people is ruining, is considered as an incitement. So that's where we're going to start tonight. Just about 4 days, is it 4 days now or 5 days now? In part of the State of the Nigerian Nation addressed by Peter Obi, there is a part where he categorically said this.
I want us to sit down one of these days and talk about the opposition and how the opposition will be effective. A democracy is faulty. It wasn't designed to support the opposition. Oppositions here are actually in difficulty. If I tell you what I face, what I go through, what my family go through, you wouldn't even believe I will still be standing and going around this country. But I've made up my mind that if this is the end, so be it. Because we can't allow the country. It is difficult to be in opposition in this country. Extremely difficult. Because everything is against you. People don't even want to see you. They don't even want to talk to you. I see colleagues that greet them at the airport, they don't even want to reply. Because they feel they don't want the government of the day to see you or see them greeting you. Your businesses, everything you're involved is being dismantled. That is not a country. We need to show more commitment to the future of our country. None of us is going to live here forever. So we must build a better society for our children. And to build it, some of us will take the risk. That is the part of what Dele and Co also going through. And not just him, every person, even the oppositions, at local government level, at state level, everywhere are going through that. So for me, we are actually doing a lot if we're doing everything on our own.
So that part where that won't be the first time that Peter Obi would lament on how people have been doing everything to avoid him, because himself and the Obidients, they are considered the biggest threats to thiefnubu's illegitimate regime. Although they will kind of play it down. Usually they will say they have no structure, this or that. But the Obidients and Obi himself remains the biggest threats to thiefnubu's political, thiefnubu looked like he's got all these aslikas around him. You know what I mean? Like people who are like kowtowing to him and the rest of that. But all of these are like substanceless, set of eye service of a thing. Because in the last charade they had, it became obvious that except that Yakubu came to the rescue of thiefnubu, by now, thiefnubu would have become an internally displaced politician, because you know what would have happened? They would have lost Lagos. thiefnubu won't be your president. Majority of those who are miling around him right now, they won't. It would have been forgotten totally. thiefnubu and this, political base in Lagos was demystified by this Obidients. And it didn't stop there, okay? Majority of the political heavyweights in that contraption got demystified by this Obidients until Yakubu came to their rescue last minute. Lagos was supposed to be the traditional base of thiefnubu. It was demystified, it was destroyed politically there. He could barely score 150,000 votes. In his own supposed Lagos, Sonweku and the rest of them, they had to kind of employ a warlike tactic, increase their tribal ethnic baiting, hatred, and the rest of this. This is not like a years ago. We are talking about just less than 2 years ago that this happened. thiefnubu didn't win any real loyal election anywhere. The wicked that is now jumping up and down around him today had to actually like kill people. He killed electoral officers just to make sure that they managed to rig something that he is now using as his own leverage with thiefnubu today. So thiefnubu's political heavyweight nonsense is only exists in the imagination of his fellow, his humbled voluntary slaves. Let's just be realistic. Let's be honest. Because the initial thing was that they had no structure, no structures, no structure that. Until when their election results started pouring in, or more, they had to turn off, shut down the website, turn off their IREF, and then they started rolling out their fake figures. So thiefnubu's political weight that people tell you about is only only exists in the imagination of his ass-lickers. thiefnubu can't participate he can't really participate in anything called free and fair election. And APC, generally, they've never had that chance. The only time they had it was in 2015. And they even had to kind of like add an extra rig into it too. So these Obidients were supposed to have vanished by now. But sadly for this APC, they are not. They are not vanishing. Confessor Soyinka, who called them fascist. Fascists are those that will say, except you do things our way. If you don't do things our way, you are considered an enemy. So he called the Obidients the fascists. Meanwhile, the real fascists are the APC, who considered everyone that rejects them as an enemy. And they are not just that, they have become hostile. You understand what that means? Like hostile to anybody or any group of people that rejects thiefnubu. they will come for you. If they don't physically attack you, right, then they will economically come for you, come for your source of livelihood. And this is why the Obidients are the most the most dreaded political group in that contraption today. They are those that they believe Obi inheriting them or following Obi to them is like, you know, a bigger threat, kind of. And every time Peter Obi says something in critiquing this illegitimate regime of thiefnubu, they sort of feel automatically like he's inciting his base. Maybe it's going to be a matter of time before these Nigerians are going to pounce on them, you know? And that is why when this guy was asked to react, the next thing he did was to actually threaten Obi by saying,
No. He is the one that's throwing that. Mr. Obi is shooting from the hip. He's not looking. He's not taking an aim. He just, you know, I mean, shoots widely, like, you know, what we used to see in movies back in the day, in the Wild Wild West. He is not being rational. He's absolutely irrational in his thinking and in his public commentary for a man who was governor for 8 years, who left nothing to remember in Anambra State by way of a legacy or transformation. But all of a sudden, you know, he served as governor 8 years. He didn't have the wisdom or the smarts to change Anambra State, to make Anambra the beacon, you know, that example of, you know, governance in the country. But then, you know, he runs for president, you know, in 2023. And then now he didn't win. He's sulking rather than actually get a perspective and, you know, figure out what he did to lose so he can do better in the future. He would think that he can bring down the government by simply, you know, being maliciously deceptive. That is wrong. You know, I'm not somebody to, you know, to go on that offensive in that manner. But Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times. And I think that at this point, you know, he has coming to him whatever he gets, you know, he needs to manage it.
Do you get that? So that's Felix Moka, that mofo, right? It won't be the first time he actually passes, you know, threats. Not just to Obi, but even to this Obidients as well. Like I said, you know, politically, they believe that these Obidients are a bigger threat. Because if there's going to be any uprising, the only person who can trigger an uprising in Nigeria is Peter Obi, whether you like it or not. He is the only person who has genuine followers. He's the only guy, after 2 years of election, he is still so relevant enough that they kind of fear what may happen if his base that they love to call the Obidients. They call them different names. They try to demoralize them. They try to gaslight them, blackmail them. They, you know, and these are the, you know, some of us believe that they are deluded, believing that Nigeria may work or Nigeria can work. And because of that, they say a better Nigeria or a working Nigeria is possible. Peter Obi, sort of a thing. But to some of us, we believe that it's actually a full delusion. But nevertheless, they are just Nigerians who feels like the country should work for everyone. If Nigeria works, it will be to the betterment of everyone. There are those who believe that a good governance is a right rather than living in your own country. And to them, anybody who can give them that good governance, right, will have their support, and they believe Obi will give it to them. So do you understand that mean? What that means is that it is only Peter Obi that actually has the sizable number of loyal followers. The followers that, if for any reason, Peter Obi, happen to be like this APC, Ronokus, is the only person who is capable of triggering a revolution in that contraption, whether you like it or not. But some people believe that he won't do it, because if you cycle around the whole thing, you realize that he himself is an elite. He is also part of the system. He has his business in the system. He has his own investment in the system. So, and if anything if Nigeria should go up in smoke, and then the criminal elites in Nigeria are to be chased down, even the like of honest businessman like Peter Obi will not be spared. His own businesses may not even be spared too. So a lot of people believe that that sentiment is the reason why Peter Obi can be like the APC. Egbekebe is the most influential politician in Nigeria of today. I'm not talking about tomorrow, but today is the most influential, powerful politician in that contraption. So his position on things actually rattles the people inside the APC. That's why they are throwing everything at him. Everything they can throw at him. Just maybe one of them will stick somehow. So he didn't say anything wrong. He reacted as he should, like a normal politician, okay, and opposition, by, speaking on behalf of those, at least if the Ronukus are not on his side, then what about the Obidients? Everyone exists inside this contraption today, facing the shege that thiefnubu is dishing out. Nobody is spared. So if the Ronukus are comfortable, that's fine. But this guy has, millions of those who also look up to him, Abi. So he can speak for them too. And that is what APC, Ebekebe, dreads. So right now, with that direct threat that whatever Obi sees, he should take it, that he has crossed the line. What is crossing the line? Criticizing thiefnubu is crossing the line in that contraption. They just haven't figured out what to do to him or how to deal with him, I believe. Meanwhile, the Obidients themselves are waiting. They are like anticipating that we are touching. Even he himself won't be able to hold them back. You know me, I have said this on my own, that anything that will shall cause katakata, destroy everything. I beg, if I dey sleep, wake me up. Because this fraudulent contraption held together by this fraudulent system needs to collapse. You understand? So if you are among those who are praying that things should work, I am not against your prayer, but I just know that your prayer will never be answered, because this whole thing needs to collapse. Whatever is going to trigger it, anything that is going to be the ignition that will ignite it, I am up for it. And that's one reason why I do not subscribe to bashing the Obidients on Mayegun's diary political, because yes, most of us believe that you, the Obidients, you are completely deluded, hoping that that contraption will work. You are like, it's a total delusion. But your delusion or your delusional belief is kind of like a good one, because if you keep believing and you keep trying to want to make that contraption work, and they continue to cheat you out of it, maybe one of these days, you are going to agree with us that it is not about your belief. It is how the system is set up to work. So maybe that can trigger something in you, and we can have this revolution finally. So that is why I see you as my friends. Not because you want a better Nigeria, because you will never get that. Not because you want a working Nigeria, because that will never happen. But the fact that you want it, all right, and you believe that you can have it. So one of these days, you are going to realize that you will never have it. And then, just by then, you are likely going to then be on our side to get the entire thing shut down. In reaction to this, a lot of people have been reacting, by the way. Immediately Peter Obi himself came out and said, it is true. You see this statement of, I have crossed the line many times. What does that even mean? An opposition crossed the line, criticizing the illegitimate regime, destroying the people, destroying the country, telling yourself that you are doing the right thing, even when people are groaning under the economic hardship and the directionless policies you are rolling out, crossing the line, like, don't talk about thiefnubu or else we'll deal with you. They are the real fascists. So people have been reacting. The first set of the reactor is this guy, who happened to be one of the obedient, leaders, I'd say.
The APC is playing a very dangerous, divisive game in the Nigerian polity, and this will undermine everything that we stand for in our democratic process and also in the rule of law. I'll tell you very clearly that about 500 years before slavery, leaders of thoughts, both in the church and in the mosques, and scientists of, credible people, denigrated, spoke, dehumanized the black people, and it was on the framework of those thoughts and those inscriptions that slavery took place. And I'll tell you, as somebody who has been to Rwanda countless times, if you read through the stories and the history, before the genocide, some people were referred to as cockroaches and trees and all kinds of that. When these rhetorics pervade our civic spaces, you see that danger is right on the way. Prior to the 2023 general election, incidentally, our current president, dialoguing with his people, he said that elections and the processes that will lead to the emergence of a presidency is not just going to be given, that you have to snatch, you have to grab, and you have to run away with it. And you can see through the elections how Obidients were beaten out of polling booths in Lagos. They were shot at in River State. They were killed in Kano. We lost a lot of people because of statements that are made. And to have not just an ordinary Nigerian, but the national publicity secretary of the APC to come on national TV. Felix Morka said directly that Mr. Peter Obi has crossed the line over and over again, and that what they have, when you listen to him very clearly, he said what's coming to him, meaning that affirming what Mr. Peter Obi has consistently said about the threat to his life, his businesses, and his family. He came out on national TV to affirm that, and then retracted back again to lie about it. I mean, why are the APC government behaving like bandits? It's only in Nigeria that bandits will send text to you, tell you that they're coming to kill you
But what Felix is claiming right now is that he's been taken out of context, and that he may not have meant entirely, in any way, the way this narrative is being peddled. What's your reaction to that? Do you think he's taken out of context?
You see, it's important for me to finish my thought on this, because what Mr. Peter Obi did, or what he said, is written. It's actually a written speech that he gave. And I am not making any data up. It is the Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria that said that over 100 million Nigerians can barely eat in a day. That we're going through what you call multi-dimensional poverty by over 150 million people. These were the data that Mr. Peter Obi gave during his briefing. And I have never, home and abroad, I've never seen the opposition leader of any country on the face of the earth come out to advise and admonish and give a clear blueprint and direction to the government of the day to attend to people in a country where during the Christmas season over 100 Nigerians died for just trying to get food. And then you come up to what? To threaten. If telling Mr. Peter Obi that what is coming to you, you should manage it. If that is not a threat, then what is threat? The APC.
You get? Now you see, what maybe it is too blunt to say it is a delusion. All right? Because that's not even too blunt. I have some other harsh words to describe those who believe that Nigeria will work. Let me tell you the playbook, or the usual belief of some people. Some people believe that the problem of Nigeria is leadership. Once you elect a good leader, everybody will now follow the... Some believes that once we arrest all the past leaders and put them in jail, everything will be fine in Nigeria. This is delusion, delusional at the level of a grandeur delusion or something like that. It is high-level delusion. We don't have anything in common to call ourselves one Nigeria, to start with. Then secondly, the people need to decide to have a country, right? You need the people to decide that they want to be together as a country in what is called the Article of Independence, Article of a Union, whereby every part, every unit or unit part of that country agrees to come together, and coming together to determine the type of government they want, the type of economy they want, and all other foundational, reasons why you want to actually live together. So if you don't have that, you don't have any country. The idea of, see, before APC, Ebekebe, right? Let's give it to those before them. They managed that division so well, right? That some of us grew up believing that Nigeria is a country. But when you look at all of the factors that makes a country, you will realize that ours is in total contrast from one another. Total contrast. We're just meant to believe that we are brothers. Maybe we should just kind of continue like that and see how to make it work. But we have a system where mistrust is the currency that we are spending. We do not trust ourselves. So no matter how much you want to probably think positively of the contraption, it is out of naivety, being naive. And a lot of us are that naive, hoping that it's not hard, it's not difficult. I mean, why can't we just... If everybody has to present their conditions of why they want to be part of Nigeria, you will realize that majority of us will not agree to be together. The only reason why you're having one Nigeria today is because there is a crude oil that they are drilling in a part of Nigeria, which also, although is already losing its value, by the way, so it's a matter of time before everybody will now realize that there is actually no one Nigeria. What you have is many Nigerias. Okay? So, good leader needs a good system. Yes, you might say a good leader will bring, should kind of institute a good system. No. It is the people that will determine what kind of system they want. And in this case, the people doesn't really matter. And when it comes to Nigeria, it is some selected people that decide for all of us. And they believe that they know what we all need. And that's the problem. Nigeria can never work. It is not a cause. It is not. It is a business entity put together to serve the interest of some people. And if by any reason you find yourself among them, then Nigeria is working for you. If you are, a majority are always outside that. That is why Nigeria is never going to work. Don't be deceived though. The Sharia North, as well as the Middle Belt, they don't have anything in common. The Western region, Yoruba land, and then the Eastern region, Igbo land, we don't have anything in common. Similarly, when you begin to go to all these places, you will realize, but okay, maybe we do have some things in common. That will have to be like ironed out. But we don't speak the same language. Do you understand what that is? If I can't understand what you are saying and you can't understand what I am saying, the chunk of us, then there is going to be room for suspicion, distrust. So why do you want to kind of force it and make it like it doesn't really matter? Let's leave that. Let's just move on. You don't move on if you, Bible even say that can 2 or 3 walk together except they agree? Can they? So that's why Nigeria will never work. Forget about this leadership problem. Can you come? No. Even if you have somebody that pretended to be like a good leader, you will have to define the good leader. Because in this instance, there are those who are following thiefnubu that believes that thiefnubu is a good leader. And there's nothing you can say to them. They will tell you that thiefnubu is a good leader. There are those who believe that if Bukwari was a good leader. Till tomorrow, they will tell you, Bukwari was a very good leader. This is the definition people give to those who have mounted the position of power in Nigeria. It is always like my turn by turn Nigeria Limited. You know? So let people govern themselves. And even if we have to be together, let people decide that. Give them that chance. I know that's a tough one, but it is possible. It's a tough one if the people understand that this contraption was never put together for them. Because it was never put together by them. And never for them. So maybe when we get to that majority and we begin to push and we succeeded in breaking up the contraption, right? Maybe it will begin to make sense to a lot of us, especially the educated ones. Because we are the ones who seems to be like speaking so much or learning how to speak so much English, but without any real sense. Like in the long run, it's always about English, no sense. We don't have anything in common in that contraption. Don't let anybody say you. I mean, you can even call me names. You can call me any names you want to call me for being that blunt. But the truth here is that we do not have anything in common. No. Let's give thanks to APC, that have decided to expose that, that fourth line. Do you get that now? This line that the people before them they managed to blow it out. Okay? Or APC, succeeded in breaking the entire, what you call it, system so that everybody knows where they belong to. So what you have left in Nigeria right now is hypocrisy, where people are trying to sound politically correct. The contraption is not working. It will never work. And that's why they will continue to make it a turn-by-turn Nigeria Limited. Everybody is going there, get your shot. And once you are getting your own shot at it and you are benefiting from it, then Nigeria is working. Anybody who is complaining that Nigeria is not working for them, that is their own problem. So once you lose your own grip, then Nigeria will not work for you again. This has been the whole, concept of this while. So let the people decide if they want to be together. Let the Yorubas decide if the majority of Yorubas want one Nigeria. Let it be on record that they want it. If the Biafrans want one Nigeria, let it be on record that they want it. If the Arewa North wants one Nigeria, let it be on record that they want it. Not some political class telling us what we want. When in actual fact, it's actually for all of them. Here is another person reacting again to this threat of the coward Felix Moka, who now said he's being quoted out of context.
I think Mr. Moka is playing a script. He's possibly trying to impress his masters because he was talking about Peter Obi's achievement in Anambra State. I think he has to go back and read properly before, tempering to address Peter Obi's performance in Anambra State. But first of all, we have to warn Mr. Walker, or whatever he calls himself.
Felix Walker.
Prince Walker. Obidients are very patient people. We are wounded in 2023 and we accepted it, and we kind of accepted our principal's plea for us to be calm. But let him be warned that anarchy is at the corner. By the time he starts to threaten Peter Obi, he has no right to come and speak the way he's speaking. Peter Obi is a decent man. In fact, Obidients are angry with Peter Obi.
Okay, let's talk about what Peter Obi has said, right? He's expressing concerns about Nigeria transforming into what he calls an authoritarian and repressive regime. Do you share his view?
Well, Peter Obi as an opposition leader, you are not expecting Peter Obi to come and say hallelujah songs to the government. The government is practically not doing what it promised the Nigerian people. And there has to be someone speaking here. In civilized countries, they face themselves and they spill all these things face to face. Is it because our democracy is for dragging? You should be able to accept criticism. And I have not seen anything Peter Obi has said that is too bitter for anyone to to accommodate. Peter Obi has done a fantastic job of being an opposition with concern about the Nigerian people. We are calling on the APC government to call Prince Moka to order. He has to withdraw his statement. In fact, he should be arrested for calling, threatening the opposition that he has crossed. Which line did he cross? We are telling the government what they ought to do for the Nigerian people to leave. People are dying of stampede. People are hungry. The transportation system is not working. Bad roads everywhere. The hospitals have no equipment. So what else do you expect Mr. Peter Obi to say? We are even not happy. The Obidients are not happy with Peter Obi that is not doing enough. And we are telling Felix
what do you Obidients expect Mr. Peter Obi to be doing?
What we're expecting to do now is exactly what he's doing now, pointing those areas where the government should pay attention for Nigerian people to be able to breathe. And that's why we find it absurd that someone, I think he needs a position in the APC. I think someone should go and ask him what his problems are. How can you say Mr. Peter Obi is crossing the line when Obidients are
well, he's the National Publicity Secretary of the APC.
I mean, he should publicize something else, not Peter Obi. Peter Obi is one of the best opposition leaders they can have.
What's your message to the APC and also to the Nigerian public when it comes to fostering a more inclusive and respectful political discourse in Nigeria?
My message to the APC is that we, like I said earlier, we have Obidients in APC, we have Obidients in PDP, we have Obidients everywhere. We urge them to go directly into what they promised Nigerian people, those dividends of democracy that they
should do it. And he is right too, because let's be honest, when these thiefnubu and his co-travelers, when they were the oppositions in Nigeria, Jonathan saw as they are calling for protest, they are paying columnists in Nigerian papers. They are paying columnists in international papers, writing horrible things about Nigeria, about Jonathan, about his wife. Almost every week, they are granting press release, press statement. It got so much that you remember Laya Mohammed. Laya Mohammed defended Boko Haram. That was how kind of like active these guys were during Jonathan's time. Remember? Laya Mo defended Boko Haram. Yeah, he said that, Jonathan was intending to kill Northerners in the name of looking for Boko Haram. That why can't Jonathan give the Boko Haram amnesty the same way they gave amnesty? It was Laya Mo that said that. To the point that Boko Haram nominated Bokwari as their negotiator. Betty Bagbe. Now don't forget, there was a time that Boko Haram nominated Bokwari to represent them in their talk with Jonathan's government. In that contraption. And I've never seen where they were blamed for crossing the line. But you know, APC, Egbekebe, they do not want any opposition. If Nigeria cannot become one-party state, then they will unleash their thugs. Remember when this happened in Lagos now? This is a reminder.
Mo sọ fún yín gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ ohun tí àwọn leader wa sọ lókè ni pé Sanwó-Olú ni. I want to assure you this place we are not going to allow anybody to vote for anybody here. We are going to censor out of this place. We are for Sanwó-Olú. What our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said.
APC, we have hierarchy, and we have leadership. We have leaders, and we have been directed by our leaders to go and vote for Sanwo-Olu. And that's what we are going to do. This wards, this local government, we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. And is gone finally. We will allow you to kill vote Sanwo-Olu by the party hierarchy. We have been directed party tiwa gbọ́dada ẹgbẹ́ tiwa ani hierarchy ani àwọn tó ní àṣẹ ani àwọn tó dẹ́gbẹ́ ilẹ̀ ẹni tí ò bá fẹ́ ibi tí ẹgbẹ́ ń lọ tí ò bá ní lọ bẹ̀ kó lọ dẹ́gbẹ́ mi ilẹ̀. He can go and create or register Ambode People's Party. But our own is APC. All Progressive Congress. All Progressive Congress is our party. And the leadership of the party has spoken. And we cannot change it. And
that is their way. If you oppose thiefnubu, right? Forget about them saying they are progressives or whatever. They are actually progressives. That is their way. If you oppose thiefnubu, you are automatically considered enemy. And anything you see, you go collect them or accept it. Anything you see, it has to be forced before it can become theirs. They have to force it. They have to threaten you. They have to do all sorts. There's nothing like persuasion. There's nothing like getting people in a more persuasive way. And no, by force, no. First thing first, they will offer you money. If you are headstrong, you are not taking the money. Then they will force you. If they have to attack you and beat you bloody. That's exactly what they unleashed on the people that rejected them in Lagos in 2023. That is who they are. They do not want, they criticize them, okay? You are criticizing thiefnubu. How dare you? You're supposed to just, once you see thiefnubu, you raise your two hands, and then you hit the ground with your own foot, right? That is their mode of operation. Modus operandi. If you're asking questions, you are looking for trouble. Because to them, that means you are trying to incite people against them. Asking questions is not acceptable in their group, in their midst. Now they have the power. I know they are telling themselves that thiefnubu was able to rig himself in when he wasn't in power. However, he has the control of all the institutions right now. It will be difficult for anybody to get rid of him. But guess what? They are still afraid. They are afraid of the people. They are fear of Peter Obi, as you can see right now. It's not because the Obidients and the Peter Obi himself is too kind of complicated to be rigged out. No. Their worry is that they are failing. You see, they are failing. The Nigerian economy is tanked. And people can see their level of corruption and failure too. So if you now need to rig election again, it may trigger an endless revolution in that place. Something that they possibly have no idea of how to undo that. This is why the Obidients, are threats to them right now. It is not because they are afraid. It's not because they don't have what it takes to write election results. The problem is, what if this Obi becomes so radical that he's no longer the talking Obi? He's no longer the one that can hold you back when you reject them again, and then they falsify the figure to return thiefnubu in 2027 if you make it that far. That is their worry. And that is something that I don't know how they're going to do it. I have no idea. I can tell you this, that it is a bit of a frustration for them because they didn't expect this. They didn't expect him to last this long. They've hijacked his party, the Labour Party. They've hijacked PDP. So where exactly is Peter Obi going to run against them? They have no idea. Now, if he should run against them again, the man they said had no structure, right? So if he should run against them again, and you, the Obidients and other frustrated Nigerians, queue behind them, and you make it difficult for them to rig, and they still rig anyway, and then this led to the breakdown of law and order, that majority of them would have to run away from Nigeria. So this is why they believe that Obi has crossed the line many, many times. To them, he is not just going away. He should have been like gone. After the 2023 charade, that's normal, right? It should be gone. Nobody is concerned about whatever Atiku had to say. It is what this Obi had to say. It is just this Obi. Why? Because he is the only potent threat to their state capture. He is the only one they feel like if he should, for any reason, be like them, or be half of what they were to Jonathan, or if he should realize his influence for real, and he should trigger it, this can set Nigeria up in total, like on fire. So that's why they're working every day, every now and then, to see how much of the mudslinging they can, fling at him and see which of them will stick. And to me, Mayegun, the observer, I am much, much interested, which is like I am investing in you, the Obidients, Obi and others, as the, what you can call the catalyst, the match or the matches that is going to help ignite the fire that APC, Egbekegbe, is trying to cover with their cloth in that contraption today. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. What it means is that there are some of you who still believe that Peter Obi can be president. I'm not saying he can't, because I am not a soothsayer. And you see, that level of conviction is a very powerful one. So the only people who can stop him from being your president is this same thiefnubu and his gang, who also believes that they have the power to do and undo, because to them, on the surface, Peter Obi is just a small fry. And the fact that they are seeing him as a small fry on the surface, but they are very worried about the consequences of what can happen if they kind of touch him, makes it more interesting for somebody like me. So then I always feel like, me they touch him. I want to kind of like find out something. Touch him. Oh yeah, touch Peter Obi so that we can see what the Obidients are made of. You get what I mean? So this is why I believe that your belief or your strong conviction somehow that Obi can be president will make you more radical. And being radical in this contraption has its own advantage. The advantage is that, like you saw the last time, you will see them hit you again. So it's now going to be, would you allow it? Even if you want to. People like us will kind of remind you that, again, because except this fraudulent system collapse, it was supposed to have collapsed during the time of Bukuari. The likes of thiefnubu and co, waiting for their turn, sustained it. Now they have rubbished the entire system, even the country more now, which means any slight mistake right now can spark a bigger problem for them. And I want to see that. Okay? I really want to, because without the entire system burning down, we are all not going anywhere. You see, those of you who wanted a better Nigeria, you're not going to get it through election. So those of us who want the breakup of that contraption, we are never going to get it through protest. So until the entire system is self-destruct, which they are on the verge of doing so, okay? So until the entire system self-destructs, a lot of us will never get what we want. And what do I want? A balkanized Nigeria, where everybody manage their own affairs. Call yourself whatever name you want to call yourselves, so that I and others will not be blaming people who are not of my own region for the reasons why we are all suffering. I've had people who believe that Nigeria is better together, like David Undeyin is, is our guy. He believes that it is in the interest of Nigerians. I don't want to be Nigerian, by the way. And there are many people who don't want to be like Nigerians anymore, right? So David believes that if in this world today, it's better for countries to be as big as Nigeria, because more, what the world is becoming is that the bigger you are, the fearful the rest of the world, or will kind of like treat you. But that is one stupid take, in my own opinion. There are smaller countries with purposes, or with purpose. This big for nothing contraption has no purpose. So if we have to break into pieces, right, to achieve our own goal in life, so be it. So let nobody deceive you that you have to be as big as America, be as big as India or China before you can survive in the world of today. No, we don't have to be. We don't want to buy that anymore. Let everybody go and do themselves. And yes, there are those who want one Nigeria. There are those who don't. I don't. So the only thing that can give us all closure is that let me be able to say, I don't want it. And then you be able to say you want it. Then we'll count it. For those who want one Nigeria, they can, if they win, then all of us will stay in Nigeria. For those of us who don't want one Nigeria, if we win, then we'll go to our own smaller countries. And we'll still be neighbors as well. So any other explanation about one big for nothing, shared misery, shared poverty, shared terrorism and all this stuff, right? Some of us are not buying that anymore. And thanks to APC, Egbekebe, for what they have done. If there is anyone who's still kind of thinking that chasing APC, Egbekebe out of government, is the solution to what Nigeria is facing, that means you are not learning. Yes, we do not probably have the controlling number yet. Those of us who want the contraption to break, we may not be having the controlling number yet, but maybe we will someday, So yes, you, the Obidients, this is my hope for you, that you will continue to believe that maybe the contraption will work. Then they will continue to deny you that. So when they've done it once, they will do it again. You have accepted that once, would you accept it again? If they touch Peter Obi, what do you think you can do? And stuff like that. These are like, rhetorical questions that, will be answered very soon. Let me tell you something. The shege you are facing in that contraption today, which is orchestrated by thiefnubu and his gang, make them poorer, stifle them of all the economic opportunities, so that whenever election is coming, you can ease it up. They may even reduce your petrol price, your PMS price from 960 or 1,000 naira per liter. They may reduce it to maybe 500 or 400 by the end of 2026 or early 2026. So that it will look as if to say, oh yeah, everything is like coming down now, before they kind of like will nail your coffin finally. These are criminals, economic jackals that should never have touched power, should never have been or have any chance of getting closer to power. Okay? But who knows? Maybe they are just out there to fulfill destiny as well and be the last to keep Nigeria together as one country. Because after them, there'll probably be no one Nigeria anymore. Yeah, you see? So that is why you are very formidable, a bigger threat. And if they touch Peter Obi, I would love to see what you're going to do. You know? They would love to see what you want to do as well. Or we'll go to Ghana. You see, today, John Mahama got sworn in as the president of Ghana, that's succeeding Nana Akufo-Addo. And in his own presentation, he acknowledged the the political journey of himself and Nana as lawmakers far back in 1990s. And then they ended up, the two of them ended up being presidents of their country. But in the early stage of his speech, I don't know if that's an error from the people who wrote his speech, or I don't know. So he called thiefnubu Koolu, who was also there, by the way. He called Koolu the president of Ghana. That part got cut out and became a trending video online. But yeah, I put the two of them together and I'm going to play it for you. So the second one is that of thiefnubu in Ghana, who was talking about them lifting the people of the continent out of poverty. That's thiefnubu. But let's hear that of Nana first.
Honorable members of Parliament, Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Ghana, and special guest of honor for this occasion, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Heads of Government and Development Agencies, Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and former Presidents, Your Excellency, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters. I wish you a good morning and we give thanks. So today, with my induction as the new President of the Republic of Ghana, history is being made once again. And it is a history worth repeating every 4 years with each newly elected president. Today, we're also making a different kind of history. One that speaks to our maturity as a democracy, a nation of citizens enfranchised with the authority at the polls to determine their political future. Today's exercise between the outgoing President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and I feels a bit like a deja vu. That is because 8 years ago to this day, on January 7th, 2017, we shared this same space and performed this same transitional exercise. At the time, I was the outgoing president, having served one term, and he was the incoming president, having been given a mandate by the people of Ghana to lead this great nation of us. He and I both understood on that day, as I'm sure we are today, that it is the people of Ghana that we are elected to serve. Somehow, it seems fitting that it is with Nana Akufo-Addo that I twice shared this stage and this unique historical distinction. Because Nana Akufo-Addo and I began our national political careers in Parliament in the same year, 1996. He has always greeted me with warmth, a firm handshake and a smile, and he is perhaps the only person in my life who has persistently chosen to call me Johnny. While we belong to opposing political parties, we shared a sense of mutual respect. In those early days, we probably could not have imagined that destiny would bring us to the leadership of our respective parties and that we would have to face off 3 separate times as we each vied for the highest office of the land. Nana, as this will be our final meeting under these circumstances, and as I look back on the journey we have traveled together, 2 much younger men who entered Parliament together with a full head of black hair and you with the same bald head and round eyeglasses, I have to say that you have without exception been a worthy opponent. I extend my warmest wishes to His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. It was a grueling campaign and we gave it our all. Your sportsmanship in making an early concession eased tensions and contributed to the early conclusion of the electoral contest. I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
So that was John, they call him now President John Dramani Mahama. How about President Ebola thiefnubu? He's a special guest of honor, like he said. And he also had his own prepared speech as well. And in it, as usual, he was there to do his bulaba, and other nonsense of hope is here. Hope is. Anyway, here is what Koolu said at the same event earlier today.
President of the Republic of Ghana, head of state and government, here present, right honorable speaker and members of parliament of Ghana, members of the diplomatic corps, eminent personalities here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is always good when a friend and brother can visit the home of a close neighbor to celebrate his success and progress with him. Today, we celebrate African democracy as Ghana and our beloved people mark the transition from one democratic government to another. This moment does not merely symbolize another milestone in the evolution of Ghanaian democratic society. It further demonstrates that in West Africa, we are capable of democratic and productive endeavors. It is time that our continent critics stop forgetting the strides that Ghana, Nigeria, and others have made. We will lift our nation out of poverty and build strong and resilient economies for our people. Today, I am here not only as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but also as an African in resolute support of Ghana and our people. This moment is a source of pride and honor for Ghanaians, the entire continent, and its diaspora. The sun is out and the sky may be blue, but I see today a black star rising high in African sky. This black star shines over this nation and its rays spread across this continent with a sense of shared history, hope, compassion, unity, devotion to our common welfare. While others may seek to demean Africa and keep brothers pitted against brothers, that shining star reminds us of who we are. Better yet, it reminds us of who we can be. That star reminds us always to strive and work together, bond together. Even when we disagree, we must choose the path of peaceful dialogue, never can we do harm to our brothers, nor can we permit any outsider to disrupt our bonds of brotherhood. The spirit of Ghana, the first Republic President, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is here present today, lifting that star higher and higher. Just as Ghana draws inspiration and a well of strength from Kwame Nkrumah and many of his past leaders, Nigeria similarly draws inspiration from its founding fathers, who not only fought for independence but also cherished the close relationship between our two nations. May we always walk in the way and in the spirit of these enlightened leaders. Ghana is in harmony with that spirit, and President John Mahama's inauguration today reflects that. Your new president is a man of patriotic vision and substance. He loves his nation and his people to the core. He believes that your nation has a mission and intend for you all to fulfill it. No one can ask more of a leader than that. President John Mahama and I share a deep friendship. My dear brother, I am here to work with you. You can count on Nigeria's support at any given time you call on me. We are your brothers and sisters. We shall always be there for you. May your administration be a profound success and progress for you, Ghanaians, and entire region. I am confident that new government under the leadership of President John Mahama will work with Nigeria to strengthen this powerful bond, leading to greater shared progress, prosperity for the people of our two nations. I have no doubt that your administration will bring about positive change and progress. Your accession to the power should also mark a new and invigorating momentum in pursuing sub-regional and integration and progress. With laser focus, we can tackle our people's most pressing problem of poverty.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
It's now like doing like sounding like a typewriter. I thought it would be, I thought it was going to be like, okay, to add it to speed up, you know, the speech, you know, speed it up. So it can be, it won't be the same boring, but that didn't work either. They have about 10 governors, I think 11 or so, from Nigeria. They also went for the inauguration of John Mahama in Ghana. You know, you have the Plateau State governor, you have the Zamfara governor, you have a Lagos governor, Osun governor. Who else did I see among them again? I think they have the Kano guy there. So they shall have like about 11 governors and uncountable National Assembly members. They're actually countable, but it means that they are many. Okay, there's nothing called uncountable. Just fancy that. So as for the governor Ajogbafida of Osun, he was there. So that's Ade Jackson of Osun. All right. So yeah, it was kind of like, and then the other parts, the other guys who were there was this guy from Senegal. I remember his name again since I know that he's a sellout. Then you have Ibrahim Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. He was there too. In fact, he was like a star, you know, at the gathering when the dignitaries were going to greet the new president. And then Ibrahim Traore was called. And then the entire room was just like, wow, in, you know, in roar like that. Let me show you.
Of the strong people of Burkina Faso, His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traore. Honorable members, the full meaning of Burkina Faso means strong men and women of integrity.
You know what? Let me show you the one that I actually love. The angle of him walking down. I prefer this one. It was like a star, you know, because this guy has escaped about 13 assassination attempts since the time he took over power in Burkina Faso. And this assassination attempt is believed to have been funded or sponsored by no other corporates than, you know them. So being able to travel out of Burkina Faso to attend the inauguration on invitation, the inauguration of John Mahama seems like a bigger risk. But here is something I found out, is that while Nigeria became hostile to Mali and Niger Republic, Ghana is not totally hostile to them. Most of the weapons, including armored personnel carriers, that Burkina Faso ordered for their own defense, their army in their country, right? Majority of them were imported through Ghana and then transported by road into Burkina Faso. So as much as the ECOWAS is in the pocket of France and the West, Ghana is not that hostile to these Sahel states. From what I found out anyway. So in Ghana in the most part of Africa, if not all over Africa, you see these Sahel countries, what they did in the last 1.5 years in breaking away from the stranglehold of France has been nothing but heroic to majority of Africans who see the remaining, supposed democratic countries in Africa as stooges, puppets of their puppet masters, the West. So Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, maybe partly Senegal and all that, they were considered as liberated countries, not Senegal. No, not Senegal. You know, because that Faye guy is a total sellout. Anyway, let's leave that and come back to the contraption Nigeria. But before that, right? A few days ago, it was reported that there is this community in Burkina Faso. Okay, I want to try and get their name, right? Because they do have a name. So I'm gonna. something like a bosoms or something is the name of the community. It is a gold mining community. So they said they sent the soldiers, the Burkina Faso soldiers invaded the community, attacked the artisanals because the government believes that they are illegally mining gold in that region. And this was what it looked like after. Let me show you that. I'm whenever I'm Parliament, you may have a problem. I didn't know you're doing it. Mam whenever I'm Parliament, yeah. But I'm a man, should whenever I'm Parliament.
Nara sa malwe. Sa se fa la nanda wa. Ya ra sa se.
Oh. Sang le yidama. Voilà. Comment dire? Sang media.
So they were accused of illegally mining gold. And then the military came, okay, arrested some of them, and then burned down their hamlets and what have you. In what the critic reported as the high-handedness of Ibrahim Traore's government in clamping down on illegal miners, but at the same time destroying their shanties and all that. I was talking to you earlier about the differences that we have, even though we try to embrace these differences, hoping that we could live together as a people in that contraption. But the truth of the matter is that we are not one, and there are evidences of that. The evidence of that actually abounds, okay? Now you, from the southern part of Nigeria, they can try to gaslight you by saying that not wanting the Fulani terrorist within your space is Fulani phobia. But the truth of the matter is that even those who they pretend to be one with, I'm talking about the Hausas, do not want them either. In northern part of Nigeria, where the Fulanis are in the minority when it comes to the populace or the population, but when it comes to the control of the levels of power in northern part of Nigeria, they tend to have the upper hand. But there is no group of people that actually hates the Fulanis than the Hausas. And that is why you see all these killings in northern part of Nigeria. It is always between the Fulanis and the Hausas, majorly. Or it's only when you begin to come down to the middle belt part of Nigeria that you begin to see other ethnic nationalities who are victims of the Fulani terrorism. Every young person from northern part of Nigeria, let me give you this idea. Let me give this context, okay? In this Sharia North, when we were growing up, we were told that we had 3 major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria: the Hausas, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. So they said the Yorubas, the Hausas, and the Igbos. So they are like, there's something called the Wazobia, Wazobia. Wa is come, Zo is come, Bia is come. So the Wa is in Yoruba, Zo is the Hausa, Bia is the Igbo. But when we now got this fake democracy, gradually, slowly, we started hearing Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani. What the F is Hausa Fulani? There's nothing called Hausa Fulani. You have Fulani, yes, you have Hausa, but because they were pushing this agenda that will later expose the fraud that we call this contraption, this Nigeria. They started pushing Hausa Fulani, Hausa. So they make the Fulanis. They were telling the Hausas that they are the saviors of the Hausas. That the Hausas, they are barbaric, they are backward, they are idol worshippers. But it was them, the Fulanis, that brought salvation to them, that brought, that they brought them this, whatever. Share you guys are like, we are the one who brought you out of the dark, and we brought light to you. If not for us, you, the Hausas, you will be nothing. You see, this particular statement or this kind of belief has pitted the Hausas against the Fulanis for a very long time. But in the political front, especially to those of us from the southern part of Nigeria, they wanted to appear as one, but they are not. If you meet an average Hausa person in northern Nigeria, it will tell you that the Fulanis have been killing them. And their political leaders have always been politically correct, because for political advantage or political exigencies, right, they would rather pretend to be one. Hausa Fulani. There's nothing like that called Hausa Fulani in Nigeria. Nothing like that. Until this criminal political class decided to trade the freedom of their own people for locus of office, political power. Mustafa, what is that guy's name again? Christopher Musa, the chief of defense staff, said something on that, and a young man kind of like explained it further, what his own parent told him about the Fulanis. I don't know if you have seen this.
What is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. You know, we don't mention it. That is the bottom line. The Fulani man feels anytime he comes to town, he's molested, he's killed. The Hausa man believes that the Fulani man, using his headsmen, enters his farm and destroys his crops. So it's been a long time, I'm sure you're aware, it's been a long time issue that had not been addressed. So it's a political issue.
The difference between Fulanis and the Hausa is that Fulani, they have their own tribe. They have their own language. Yes. The way they speak is different from Hausa. Yes. If you listen to a Fulani man speaking, yes, with the way Hausa man will speak, yes, they are quite different. Yes. But what makes them to become one is that religion. They came with that religion and they said to them they are one. But yes, it's good that religion make you one. But at the same time, if you people say are one, then why, because of the religion, you later become emir in their states. You now, a state that is supposed to be ruled, governed by a Hausa man, when you go to Koolu, when you go to Katsina, they even extended into Sokoto, You even go to Kaduna, you will see it's a Fulani man. It's a place that is supposed to be dominated, it's supposed to be ruled by the people of that state. By the people of that state, but you will see a Fulani man become. So Fulani man, their play, for me, it's like they betray them. For me, that's for me. For me, it's like they come with a deception. You know, they come and they deceive you people, they give you the religion and they take over the resources of you people. The thing that you're supposed to be ruling, something that you're supposed to become dominant for it, they are the one who are dominating it. You can see that. You can see that Hausa man has never become a president in this country. Why? Because Fulani man, they have been deceiving the Hausa people. We are one because of religion, but they never become president. And Fulani, let me tell you, Fulani are not beggars, to be honest. Yes, let me just say the truth. Why is it that Fulani people are not beggars? It's because they are the one who have been hijacking the treasure of this land to themselves. They are the one who have been accumulating the treasure of this country for themselves. So there are children who are staying in the villages with their cows. They don't beg and they don't marry. They don't marry a lot of women. You never see a Fulani man marrying, having many children like that. But I don't know why they came and they allowed the Hausa they allowed the Hausas to marry, to get more people, to get more population. You know, for me, they want the Hausa people to get more children, more population, so that in times of politics, you know, they talk of democracy, it's a game of numbers. So they need that numbers, and the Hausa people are the one producing those children. And you can see the people that they are using to go and to do this killing, majority are the Hausas. But the one who you will discover leading is a Fulani man. And the leader, the gang role leader, is a Fulani man. While the majority that will follow behind are the Hausas. So they are using the Hausas to achieve their aim, to achieve their goal. But now I'm glad that the Hausa people are discovering the truth. Why will a Fulani man come and put something in your mind which is not the real you? They come and they change the real you. Because the Hausa man, I can assure to you, if you live with a Hausa man, is a man that believes that he just need peace. But Fulani man, they came, they changed him. Hausa man become a toxic, he becomes so hard to understand because a Fulani man came and deceived him with a wrong way of lifestyle. What I want the Hausa to do is to stop listening to Fulani, because Fulani, they bring division for us. Fulani, they are the cause of our problem that we are having today. Fulani are people that they don't forgive. Yes, that's what I had, and I believe it is like that. They can keep something for 100 of years and they will achieve it. Our grandparents used to tell us that those are people that they don't used to forgive something when they want something.
What is going on?
This is also what I heard, that the Fulanis, they can wait. They have the patience of, of a serpent. They can wait for as long as possible. They don't forgive and they don't forget. And that is one thing that Thr also said. He said, this time, this was when Jonathan was killing these terrorists. You know what he said? He said that the Fulanis never forget and will never forgive. That every Fulani killed by the Nigerian army, even if it takes 100 years, that death will be avenged. But it didn't take 100 years. It took just about 1.5 years before Thr became the governor of Kaduna State and unleashed the never seen before terror on the people of southern Kaduna. So yesterday, the Kaduna, his own successor, where, what is that his name again? Ubasani was having a party, a repentant terrorist party in Kaduna, where repentant Fulani terrorists that they love to call bandits were said to have surrendered. All their crimes, all the killings, the kidnappings, there's no punishment for that. Rather, the state was in a joyous mood that terrorists have repented, and therefore they will now be rehabilitated. There's this report on that. Let me show you.
Some notorious bandit leaders have agreed to end banditry as part of a peace deal initiative spearheaded by the Kaduna State government in collaboration with some federal government agencies to end violence in many parts of Kaduna and environs. Trust TV had exclusive access into the peace deal in at least 3 meetings across various bandit camps in Obidients of Koolu local government area, Rima Forest, and Maidaro in Giwa local government area, as well as Kamfanindoka along the Funtua-Birningwari road. Some of the bandit leaders include Samaila Suleiman, known as Boka, who has been terrorizing areas of KK, Danghonu, and many communities in Millennium City, Chikun, and other communities in Kajuru local government area. He was also the mastermind of abductions in Kwara State and the May 2024 abductions of students of Confluence of Science and Technology, Osara, in Kogi State. People who left their houses and families should come back and continue with their normal life. Sadiq is another bandit leader operating around Kateri and Gadamala Mamman on Kaduna Abuja Highway, while Musa is another kingpin operating around Jere, Moro, and Sabongayan on the Kaduna Abuja Highway. I am happy with this reconciliation because it will benefit the masses. We are seeking for your forgiveness so that we can understand one another and forge ahead. The notorious bandit leader Salehoro, who operates alongside Boka, as well as Yellow Jambros, who operates along Kaduna Birnungwari Highway, equally pledged to embrace the peace deal. Others are Haruna, Dukununu, and Kabiru operating around Saban Birni and Maidaro villages in Giwa local government areas. God knows that we are happy and ready for this peace deal. Trust TV interviewed many of the bandits who expressed weariness with the criminal activities and expressed their commitment to bring violence to an end. We are now convinced that this government is for the people and we will support the peace deal. We don't want our children to be bandits like us, but to go to school. A government negotiator who wished to remain anonymous assured the bandit of government's commitment to peace in the region. He urged them to stop attacking villages and release all kidnapped individuals in their custody. He promised that those who accept the peace deal would be empowered with skills to help them transition to a more peaceful and productive livelihood. Recent statistics from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) revealed that between May 2023 and April 2024, over 614,937 Nigerians were killed and 2,235,954 kidnapped across the country. It also revealed that 2.2 trillion naira was paid as ransom. The report also indicated that the Northwest had the highest cases of kidnapping with 1,420,307 abducted, followed by the North Central with 317,887 and the Southeast 110,045. However, with the recent peace deal, residents of the affected communities have expressed joy and optimism that the peace deal would restore peace so they can return to their communities. I was born here and my children as well, and I am happy with this reconciliation. I will come back and continue with my family.
Thank God, and may God restore peace in our community.
We are happy because I can't remember the last time I came here. We are happy with this peace initiative. In a statement, the Chief Press Secretary to the Kaduna State Governor Ibrahim Musa said, Kaduna State government, in collaboration with some federal agencies, has established the Peace Dialogue Group that is developing the Kaduna model, which is a comprehensive framework for sustainable peace and security. This model, according to him, will include disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, alongside investment in rural development and conflict resolution.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian. It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
Terrorists, repentant terrorists, they are calling them bandits. We have seen many of such in the past. In Zamfara, they had this fanfare of repentant terrorists, and they always call them bandits. That's how the Bello Turuji and his gang, and many like them, pretended to embrace peace because they were never punished for all the killings, all the kidnappings. You know how Nigeria lost to them? These guys were making trillions of naira, like hundreds of billions of naira, as proceeds of ransom from their victims. So then when the politicians pretended to be rehabilitating them, right? They are paying them 100,000 naira every month. So it didn't take long before many of them left their supposed camp of rehabilitation back into the bush and started kidnapping again. You know, people that have been seeing billions of naira, they were never punished for the people they killed or those they kidnapped, as long as they said they won't do it again. That's it. The state governors in northern Nigeria, they will put together this kind of a charade show, call the media to come and publicize it so as to make it look like they are making progress. Then after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, these guys will be back to business, kidnapping, ransacking villages. And some of them too, they are like landlords in some of these illegal mining fields across northern Nigeria. The whole show up that they put together, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time too. It's just the turn of Kaduna. We have seen it in Niger. We have seen it in Zamfara. We have seen it in Yobe. We have seen it in some of these places. We have seen it in Borno. They have never ended because there is nothing called repentant terrorist. No terrorist repents. The only repentant terrorist or a repentant terrorist is a dead terrorist. Now, when the terrorist is dead, then you can say he has repented. There's no repentant terrorist. There is no living repentant terrorist. But for political kind of like, photo op, they put all this out. Seyi Makinde, which is the Solo Makinde Ibadan, told the inter-religious body in Ibadan yesterday that most of these terrorists from Northwest, they are now migrating down to Oyo State. We all know the history of the Fulani terrorism in Oyo State, the one that brought Sunday Igboho to limelight, of fighting for the people of Igogon and the environment, where the Fulani terrorists have they domiciled and they were kidnapping our people, killing them, raping them, kidnapping them for money. So Seyi Makinde now came out yesterday to say, even when he was celebrating his own birthday, right, that these terrorists came so close. He said they came 2 kilometers close to the hotel he was lodging in, where they were doing his birthday retreat. That's what he said. Even though he assured that he will do all his best to ensure that they flush them out, but acknowledging the fact that the escaping Fulani terrorists, they have found their space or their place in the forest of Oyo State is concerning. Yes, it is. And we know that they've never really left. Somehow, you know, they've just managed to bury the story, not to make it like, you know, a primetime stories in Yoruba land. They are still there. Our people are still being kidnapped. Our people are still being attacked. So if the Oyo State government raises alarm, then it should be concerning, not just for himself, but for the rest of us. And they should not call them bandits. They are terrorists and should be treated as such, in my own opinion. Because before you know it now, then you begin to hear that we are also doing amnesty for terrorists in Yoruba land for peace to reign. You know? Because we already have someone who is supposed to be a king in Yoruba land. Now he has crowned a Fulani Seriki somewhere in Yoruba land. Let me see the name again. Okay, it is a place called, this guy on the left that gave a sword as a staff of office to a Fulani. His own name is, his kingdom is Kweme Kingdom in Badagry. His name is Oba Sejiro James. Now, Sejiro James, this is what it looks like, proper clearer picture. This is what it looks like. Sejiro James is the Oba of Kweme Kingdom in Badagry. And the guy, the one that had the bed sheet over his head, that one, his name is Muhammad Umar. So there must be a substantial number of Fulanis in Badagry before this guy decided to actually crown one of them as a Seriki Fulani of Kweme Kingdom in Badagry. So I thought that the Oba Akran, the Akran of Badagry, is the paramount ruler of Badagry. So how come this madman has any authority to actually crown a Fulani Seriki in Lagos State, in Badagry? How? What kind of authority does he have? I have been trying to figure that out. I have not succeeded. Okay? But that is his space. His name is Sejiro or Sejiro James. So if you are from Kweme Kingdom in Badagry, now you have an idea of what your own royal father is almost foisting on you. Yeah, if they are living in Badagry peacefully, let them live in Badagry peacefully. Why give them Seriki Fulani? Isn't that what the Hausa kings did when they allowed Danfodio, the first terrorist in Nigeria of in the old northern region then? Uthman Danfodio was an Islamic teacher as well as a charm seller. It was a charm seller. He was selling charms, just like Afonja and Alimi. So Afonja, who invited Alimi, a charm seller, ended up having his head on the spike by the army brought into Ilorin by Alimi. And similarly, Danfodio, a Sahelian terrorist who came as a teacher, teaching. And you know something about them is this. These Fulani terrorists, what they usually do, they don't really fight themselves. They will turn you. They will turn your own people against you. They will be the one to do the fighting, which is true. Those who captured the Hausa land for Uthman Danfodio, they were not Fulani fighters. They were the converted students of Uthman Danfodio who were Hausas themselves. Because they were told that their forefathers, their fathers, they are pagans. And the religion of Muhammad that he has brought to them is the only peaceful religion, the religion of this and that. So he used their own children to kill them. And they called him master. He was their master, the Satan, at the time. Well, he wasn't a Satan then because he rejected the Satan, but they call him Amir. So if you have a Yoruba Oba that is crowning a Fulani as a Seriki in his own domain. That tells you all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Okay? And this one is one of the Yoruba bastards crowned in Yoruba land. There are many bastards crowned as a king in Yoruba land. But once in a while like this, we get to see their true faces. Here is one of them, Sejiro James. And I hope the people of Badagry are aware, because people have been reacting, by the way. People have been reacting to this, like, what the heck? How could, I mean, what's going on? You know? Anyway, let's leave that and then go a little bit forward, because our time is almost out anyway, or finished. Today is also our Princess Balogun's birthday. So today is Princess' birthday, oh, by the way. Princess's birthday. Yeah, so if she's in the studio, right? I mean, if she's in the temple right now, so you can have a chance to say hello to her, okay? It's happy birthday, Princess. Right? So the man that orchestrated what is now the divided Nigeria of today, and his own successor, I'm talking about Bokwari, Solomon Dalong, has something to say again. This evening, it was on Channel's television, and he was talking about how the APC, Egbekegbe, has now become intolerant of opposition, and how the Bokwari was a stranger in his own regime, in his own government, and also how it is going to be so difficult for a lot of you to deal with thiefnubu and his gang, because they are so experienced, which is true. They are very experienced. They've been in government for a while. They can apply or deploy all kinds of tricks to keep themselves in power. I don't really have to agree with him 100%, but he did say this. Watch.
Even a geo-demographic and a shift towards even having female incorporated within the structure of leadership. So that is likely going to come very, very soon, especially looking at the future, 2027.
Okay, it will be interesting to see because some of us are he for she. We would like to see that level, because I know there was once PDP, I've forgotten her name. I think it's Sarah Jibril. I think that's her name. She even contested in the primaries. Sarah Jibril. I think she had only one vote or no vote. So that's just to tell you how difficult it is for women to access power. But that's a conversation for another day. Before we come to the issue of the current administration and how they are managing the affairs of state by your own assessment, I know I listened to you talk about Muhammadu Buhari and his administration. I don't know what you were. Some people are saying the administration, in their words, were a monumental disaster. Others are saying this government is gaining from some of the things it left off, like the refinery and some of the roads. I don't know what yours will be, but I remember you said in that conversation that Buhari was used and dumped. He was a stranger in his own government. Maybe you can speak to that.
Well, yeah, in one of the last interviews I had in a podcast with one of your staff here, I did mention that as we continue to heap blames on the Muhammadu Buhari's government and then the bulk shifting, that, oh, we inherited this, we inherited that. President Muhammadu Buhari, like I said, was a stranger in his own government. And that government of Muhammadu Buhari was even run jointly by the current president, because he nominated about 5 ministers in that government, and he nominated even a vice president. And coming to the issue of President Muhammadu being a stranger in his own government, what I meant actually was that there was an initial intention upon which we campaigned. We got the buy-in of majority of Nigerians and their investments in campaigns to produce President Muhammadu Buhari. But the government was not a reflection of the stakeholders who brought it into office. Rather, we had the emergence of a power cult that sort of hijacked power at that level, and that things were complete of the initial promises and the covenant had with Nigerians. So the president was more or less a stranger in a government where he was popularly elected, and the government failed woefully to meet its campaign promises.
I know that. So let's come to the current administration. What's your view of the current administration, the person and the president called Bola Tinubu? Because you've also said that President Bola Tinubu is surrounded by a sophisticated cabal. That's how you reference this government.
Well, Nigerians should understand when the discussion about cabal is raised. I know some previous presidential aides in their books they publish and interviews had tried to existence of a cabal in the Nigerian presidential system. And I think it will be very, very unfair to posterity to deny the existence of such very dangerous political element that will take over power, pursue its own ulterior motive using the popular manifesto that was used to gain power. Of course, President Muhammadu Buhari's government had cabal. That is known, and that I've attested to. But I'm less limited to their parochial view of understanding of power relations and extending of their hands into helping themselves with public purse. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabal is made up of sophisticated and ambitious group of people who had a very long history in power. They are experienced, they are educated, and so they have a sound knowledge of what power is. And since they will suffer more than that of President Muhammadu Buhari, because their capacity to manipulate power, their capacity to also build
Anyway, what he is trying to say to you is that those around Bokwari who formed their own cabal, they are very much like myopic in their view of what power was all about. To them, it was to enrich themselves, steal as much money as they could. And they do not understand the dynamic or the dynamism of power or the manipulation tendencies of power. But when it comes to thiefnubu and his gang, they have more experience, they are ambitious, and they understand the dynamism of power. They can manipulate, and they will manipulate a lot of things just to kind of get and keep on keep the old or their old on power. So that's what he's trying to say to you. So it is never going to be a tea party when these guys are done. I've said something similar to like when they are done with you. Sometimes a lot of you will be asking yourselves, are these guys talking about this Nigeria or another one? Is it this same Nigeria that you are inside they are talking about or another one? Because they will be telling you that everything is fine. And they will ensure that every institution that could have possibly challenged them is taken over, even if they have to create an alternative institution to shadow or overshadow the real ones, so as to ensure that their agenda, their aim and everything is completely sort of achieved. That is what you are dealing with. Career criminals, extraordinaire, sort of. Anyway, we shall see. That's what my friend will say. You know what? We shall see. Because I know that the only thing that would possibly end these rogues is when they outplay themselves. You know, you can outplay yourself when you become so confident of what you are capable of doing that you kind of feel like nobody can challenge you anymore. Like where then they? Who get the chance to challenge us? So the only thing that will be left is for you to make a mistake, outplay yourself, outdo yourself, and then, like they say in Yoruba, sort of. Anyway, finally, I always use finally, but most of the time it's actually not finally. I am left with some other stuff I probably can't share because of time. This one is from Mark Zuckerberg, the man that shadow banned my Facebook page for nearly 4 years now. You see, before I decided to start using my YouTube, right? The Ronukus in Nigeria, okay, sorry. Then they were like the cyberbarians, okay? You know, the Buharidients, the Buharidients. They are always reporting my page on Facebook. And I always get suspended by this Zuckerberg, the weary Mark Zuckerberg. Any small thing, I will go to bed and I'll wake up in the morning, boom, you are suspended for 2 weeks. What did I do? Well, because I called Bukwari. There was a time that Zuckerberg actually shut down my page on Facebook. And guess why? It was because I uploaded the image of the late Alaafin of Oyo, that's Oba Lamidi Adeyemi. So it was during the COVID, all right? So the KBC was washing his hands. You know, when they say wash your hands and all of that stuff that time. So wash your hand. And they did a poster showing him washing his hands to encourage people to wash their hands. Then I put up the picture to say, oh, and I didn't say anything. I just put up the picture. Then somebody just reported it, or a lot of them reported it, that it was against their religion. Then stop following my page if this is against your religion. Baba, Zuckerberg just shut down my page. I had to open another one. And again, I mean, they always like go on and call themselves to mass report my pages. They shut down about 3 pages before this last one. And this last one, I got suspended so many times that I had to go to YouTube, which ended up being a blessing in disguise. Because if not, a lot of you won't see me on YouTube. You know, it was always my political Facebook. I used to have like a 5,000, 7,000 people watching me live on Facebook. Then they kept reporting me. Today, you barely see 100 people or 200 people watching my Egun. I have been at over 500, in fact, I was around 600,000 followers on Facebook. Then at a point, Zuckerberg started removing all my followers and reduced it down to what you have today, 540-something thousand. And guess what? Out of the 540-something thousand followers I have on Facebook, less than 1% of them actually get to see what I post. It's called shadow banning. And they did all of this because, and I think he did this to me when he visited Nigeria as well. He visited at, Bokwari in Aso Rock then. And there are some of us that, some of these Facebook pages that really got shadow banned. That if you post anything, people will barely see them. There are like many of us like that. So then people said, Mayegun, just go to YouTube. I was like, I don't think so. Go to YouTube, my friend. You will go. And okay, I said, okay, I'll go to YouTube. That's how I became a YouTuber. Usually I'm just like on Facebook, ranting and doing all my shit there, right? And I was really, really very popular on Facebook then. For 4 years of stunted growth, Donald Trump is going to be the president of America in the next 2 weeks. And one of the challenges or one of the accusations against Mark Zuckerberg is the controlled speech. It's not just for Americans, it's for everyone all over the world. World governments, different governments all over the world. They have collaborated with Facebook to shut any critic, shut you down. So now this guy came out and said, well, we are changing that now. You will just see one Olori Buruku who say is fact-checking me. For example, I may just say, let me say I put up a post now. For example, right? Let's say I put up a picture, right? I'll use an example like this. Let me put up a picture. This picture of kakistocracy. Somebody may just come and say, it's fact-checking me. This is not the definition of kakistocracy. The definition of kakistocracy is therefore, this one that I have put up is the wrong one. And therefore, is fact-checking me. And the fact-check says, this picture is not true. The next thing, you are suspended for 30 days. For picture, this was my life with Zuckerberg. And it's still pretty much there. So when it came out today to say they are no longer using any fact checker, third-party fact checker, about APC, Egbekebe set up their own platform and they called it to be fact-checking people. If you put anything up, even if you put up a joke, they will come and fact-check it so that they can suspend you or shut you down. So this mofo is now saying that is going to be different now. Not that I want to believe him, I just want it to be on record.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower-severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the
never forgive you, Mark Zuckerberg. Who kill you too? Because I won't lie to you. See, I built Mayegun's Diary Politico on truth and trust only. It is always a platform where the hard truth is expected to be published, even when people disagree. You see, Mayegun's Diary Politico is a place where sometimes when I share information, it is so hard for people to believe that they are true. There are people who will actually be praying that what I shared is not true. And most of the time, when they later find out that, oh, it is true, they don't come back to say, Mayegun said it. Oh, I saw it on Mayegun's Diary Politico. You get that now? But yes, this Olori Brukumak actually used his, he's just said it in that video that there are some people's, innocent people's platform that they have taken down. Baba, my first Facebook page, Mayegun's Diary. I didn't add Politico then. Mayegun's Diary had over 700,000 followers. It got just one bad money. Boom, it was gone. I opened another one. That one got to about 400,000 followers. Same thing, gone. I opened a third one. That was like over 600,000 followers. This is my journey of 12 years old. This last 12 years old. I opened a third one, over 600,000 followers. Again, gone. The one you are seeing right now on Facebook is my fourth page. I've been waiting for them to shut it down all this while. But rather than shut it down, they just shadow banned me. Baba, if I just open my phone like this and I'm like, go live on Mayegun's Diary Politico, within 2 minutes, you will see over 2,000 people already joined. If I am on Mayegun, so those of you who actually know Mayegun's Diary Politico before now, right? If I go live for 10 minutes, right, you will see more than 100,000 people already seen it. I got shadow banned for 4 years now, nearly 4 years, just for exposing the atrocities of APC. They've tried it with my YouTube. But somehow, that one seems like a bit difficult for them to shut down. So I will never forgive him. Yeah, it's going to take time before these changes he's talking about will take effect, right? But yeah, let's hope he will now allow people to see Mayegun's diary political. Imagine people asking me that sometimes people will see a post on Mayegun, Mayegun, where have you been? I have not seen your post for the past 8 months. I was like, I've always been here. Bag. If he doesn't want you to see me, you won't see me. If he wants you to see me, you will see me. That's it. Or just come on to YouTube. I'm always on YouTube anyway. So I will never forgive him. And this is one of the reasons why I will always curse anyone and everyone associated with APC, Ebekebe, in that contraption. They are the most vile people, the most evil people. If you have any family member that says he likes anything APC, Ebekebe, you should disown them. They are the most evil people who would rather want their evil remain covered, not exposed. So I have been with them. We have been after one another at least for more than 10 years now. From the world go, from the Genesis to the Revelation. That's why we never, for any reason, like them. Even if he tells you that I'm a nice person, a nice person, kill you. You are supporting APC, and you are a good person. Ogu kill you. Good person. Not people from where to where. They are never good people. They are evil. Right? Anyway, so thank you so much, everyone. I have overshoot our time again, but I think we should take calls, okay? Even if it's going to be like 2, 3, 4 calls, we can still have a chat before we go to bed, all right? If you have to go, remember, like the broadcast, okay? Like it, share it, and even subscribe onto my channel if you haven't already, okay? I am going to be back. I'm going to be back in a minute or two. Let me stretch my legs. Thank you very much, brethren. And yes, there's something I also need to bring back. Don't forget that we are raising fund for Yoruba Union, where we're having the Family Support Initiative 2025. That one is taking place at the end of this month. And yes, we have started the fundraiser since last year. So thank you to those of you who have chipped in. And to those of you who are still, I know January seems to be like a tough month, you know, financially. There are some of us who can still drop our videos, might, okay? That is the Yoruba Union said Naira account in Nigeria, okay? Every penny does count, and we will appreciate you for it. Here is my first caller this evening. Hello.
Yeah, Mayegun. Yeah, this is Shola calling from US.
Shola from US.
Yeah.
Because you know I'm also Shola, sir.
Yeah, this is is it third time of calling your show on your show?
It's gonna be happy New Year, though. How are you, sir?
I wish you the same. I was so happy. Most of the time, if I get back home, I used to watch your show, and I really love it a lot. Even my friend, they will ask me, why are you watching my ego? I said, I really love it because you always go deep into the program, like explaining everything to us. But if you don't listen to most of our destiny, you will think they are helping us. They are not doing anything. Yeah. And you always made mention of something that I think this is the second time I will hear it's just like a proverb. You know, we in the foreign country, we always bother about home. But the people back home, they don't bother.
Well,
like for example, I'll give you an instance.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, it's like maybe I post something on objective media, and Omoyele Showore, what happened in our local government. There's a brutal killing in our, and I think Linda Akeji bring out the show that there's a killing, they kill one woman, and a guy was killed. And most of this thing, I will tell you on your program today, the leader in Novo, they know what is going on. This is not today. This thing will be going on. I think the last time during the Akeredolu era, this thing happened. Those guys, they killed themselves. And Akeredolu
Why are they fighting for land, title?
No land. You know, like those leaders there, like when you go to those political leaders,
right?
They have their caucus. They sponsor those court guys. You have APC court guys. You have these people from the governor, deputy governor, the PDP caucus, and everything. They know. And one thing that baffles me, you can imagine, you have Oba. They can't do anything. You can't single-handedly talk about this Oba, that this is what they are doing. The late Oba, which was there, we can count a lot of beautiful things the man placed on the ground. Right. But I put it to anybody that is from our indigenous to point out what this Oba there, that they can really say this is what they are doing. They are doing nothing. Nothing. They are just there every time. These guys now, I think last year they kill each other.
So is it like a cult war? Where
no cult to number PDP, one, no, to APC, number one, they will first of all bring it out as a court war.
Right.
This court war will first of all go. Later, it will come to political stuff.
Right.
Yeah, where we have, maybe you are from this court, belong to APC.
Yep.
This one belong to the deputy governor. This thing. And most of these people, you look at those guys, I always ask myself, how much are they paying them?
Exactly.
500, 1 million? It's up to nothing. And I was even asking my friend yesterday that these people, I don't know, when you count during Akeredolu, his first son, maybe we are of the same age mate or something like that. You are there, you can't even have money to maybe do shopping, buy a good clothes for yourself. And these people, these people will call you, come and support me. They will give you 500. Let me say, with this present Tinubu era, what can you use 500,000 to buy?
Almost nothing.
Is a plot of land? You can't use it to buy it. You can't use it to buy it. To buy a car, you can't use it to do anything.
No, you can't.
And yesterday, what happened? I will tell you categorically.
Please.
The Obas, the APC, they know what is going on. I think the local government, this thing is coming maybe next month. That's why they are killing. Yeah, election. That's why they are killing each other. And I was even asking, I think the former Oba, which is Ojomoluda, which is from the other side, is a retired lawyer, a judge.
Right.
I think I remember during Palace and the other people when they are fighting, and he make a declaration that if there's anyone that trespass from the other side down to his own side to fight, he should just forget about it. He will go to jail. He will send him to jail. But now these people, let's let's put it to
free for all
yeah, let's put it to the IG and everything. Ask the political leader, ask the Oba, what are they really doing? You know what one police told my friend yesterday? He said, if they arrest these people, the kinsmen, they will come back, they will tell you, this is my son. Please, he doesn't know anything about it. Can you release them? These are the people, they obey them from the court, from the station, and they will come back to the society again. After 2 or 3 months, they will regroup again, they will still kill each other. And now, even they bomb some house. Yeah, they bomb some house. They do a lot of things. And most of this, you can, they have a proverb in our days, and they will tell you, no, I can't go to a war. I can't go there and build a house. And those people will be there. Ask those people inside there, what are they really doing to curb this kind of stuff? Nothing. I was about this evening, I said, I will call you to put it down to your program. I've never seen, even TVC, the other television station, Rise, none of them put this thing, invite Olowo for, invite the cabals, the other one, invite deputy governor, invite most of these able people, most of these prominent people, invite them and ask them questions. What are they really doing? They can only do, maybe they'll come to the TV station and speak some grammar. At the end of it, give them 2 more, give them 3 more. These guys, they'll come back to that community and start again. Thank you, Mayogo. This is what I have to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. I just received a video of the similar event taking place as we speak. It's a shame, honestly. Maybe I can put it out there for us, okay? But this is bloody, right? Well, they call them thugs, okay? We know that most of the political thugs in Nigeria, most of them have links to the political class, and then the political thugs, right? They have links to the high-profile politicians that are using them. Then on the other part, you will see them claim to be cultists as well, like cultism. People are still kind of doing cultism. Cultism where you are just a glorified political thug in this 2024, 2025, where young people are supposed to be, striving to be better or make the better use of their lives somehow. But there are those whose ambition is to be cultists so that they can have political connections, right? And work for politicians. Sometimes they ruin the damages that the political class have done to us, especially the young ones. They are like unquantifiable, unimaginable. Then probably see to others who really wanted to be that bad. Yeah? See how many people you can kill for politicians. Or even if they have to kill you too. Like my caller said, how much is it that they actually give to you? If you're a politician, if you are a cultist that is willing and ready to harm people for politicians, like how much money do they really give to you? How much money do you think is worth your life? Because I don't even understand this cultism of a thing. Because most of you who claim to be cultists, you are mainly a bunch of cowards. In my own opinion, you are like cowards who always go after the weak ones. Because the only time I hear about cultists is when they are like, bullying people who doesn't really have the same clout that they have. Like you have guns, you have knives, you have axes, you can machete somebody to death, you can butcher them, you can do, and these are people who don't actually have the same clout as you. So you join courtesan as a coward so that you can be a bully. So after that, what do you become? You become an armed robber or a political thug. What exactly is the advantage of being a courtesan in that contraption? Hello, brother.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Mayogun from Nigeria. You already know my name,
I
Phil.
do, and I just don't want to always mention it for your own sake, right? So,
Exactly. I'm doing fine. Yes, I just watch your program right now. In fact, it's true concerning what Mark Zuckerberg has been doing. Do you know there's one particular channel I also follow too on YouTube? This page is all about exposing some Nigerian pastors. How they siphon people with fraud and money and so on. Do you know that they've actually brought down the lady's page right now on YouTube? The lady cannot function on YouTube. Yes, I think I can remember GeoTV. Yeah, GeoTV. All fake things they do, especially MFN. How they rob people, how they jail people in prison. Everything they brought down.
If you try to challenge, they defraud you. Then if you try to challenge them, they will use the police to kind of lock you up.
Exactly. No, but the lady is based in London. The woman is based in London.
Right.
So
she's
to arrest her was so difficult.
Right?
Exactly.
So what
down to Adeboye, down to on YouTube, they totally brought it down. So she can't operate and everything else.
Yeah. I don't even know why I lasted this long on YouTube. I've been on YouTube now for 3 years uninterrupted. I've never been demonetized, and I've also never been suspended. And I was like, oh, how did I last this long? Because
I'm surprised too.
From experience, I don't really last 2 years before something happens to my channel or page. I don't know. I think maybe the more you grow, the more you learn or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Yes, that's one by the way. Then the one in Badagry installing the Seriki of whatever name.
Seriki Fulani.
Yes, I once told you that there is a law that they passed secretly in Lagos State House of Assembly about Sharia law or something like that. You can see that there is no quarrel, there's no messages coming from the Ministry of Interior Affairs, that's the local government affairs from Lagos State. There was one time someone actually visited Seriki Fulani of Lagos in his palace. They were exchanging vows, talking. So these things have been going on the ground. So we won't be surprised when we see all these things in Lagos. That's one. Other point I want also to make is that concerning Tinubu's going to Ghana today, I was somehow a little bit embarrassed because I saw the Ghanaian president, John Mahama. He was making speech eloquently, even though he uses teleprompter. But I'm not even seeing all these soldiers standing at the back. But when Tinubu was speaking, I just saw the guy. I said, when are we going to do away with all this military mentality? And I don't even understand this man. So it's like he has nothing upstairs. Now, concerning what Solomon, exactly, power, show of force, show of power. Now, concerning what Solomon Lalong said, actually the man is right in one way or the other. Even though he was part of Buhari's government, is right because number one, what do you expect? Somebody that all the taxes of Lagos State is only one company that is collecting it, and that is Tinubu's company, Alpha Beta. Yep. So what do you expect? So the gangs there in Alpha Beta, he has shipped them to federal FIRLs. There was one time, now that's one of the reasons why the northern leaders are fighting that now they don't want this tax reform because they believe that it's still going to be Alpha Beta that are still going to be collecting those taxes. That's right. And Tinubu is going to take his own share. Now, in Lagos State now, every tax that Lagos State government generates, the company Alpha Beta collects like 20%. Now, from that 20%, Tinubu takes at least, as a shareholder or the owner of the company, he takes 10%. So which means that if Lagos State generates 200 billion every month, Alpha Beta company is entitled to like 40 billion. Exactly. Out of that 40 billion, Tinubu is entitled to 4 billion exactly every month.
It's not
So
hard
these
to
are
tell.
one of the things that,
you know, if you read the tax bill that they are pushing, Baba, there's a space there that says the agency, which is the FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service, that they have the power to appoint a third party to collect the tax for them.
there's
Which
nothing
means
to tell
the
us
power
about that
to
Alpha Beta
issue
company.
that is upon in that bill is upon FIRS. Even though they are saying as well, they're saying that no, they were not going to use any third parties, you know, like, or if you read it very well, if you read the bill, the FIRS, which is the government empowered agency to collect taxes, right? They also have the power to delegate the collection of their taxes to a third party. People know where this is headed. Well, I actually want them to pass it.
And that's,
I mean, everything just blew up, man.
And that's why Body George was asking them that, okay, Body George called out, said, okay, ask Oshibaju, ask Tinubu who formed Alpha Beta. They know better. They couldn't respond. They couldn't respond to him. That's one. Now, concerning for Oyo State, that the Fulanis are now returning back, the bandit or the terrorists are returning back.
Escaping to Oyo. Seyi Makinde said that.
Exactly. Look, on the normal ground, if we really want to do it, as a state in the US, do you know that America has two types of military? We have the federal military and the state military, which they call the National Guard. Yes, each state has its own National Guard. The National Guard is more or less like a reserve for the US military. In case that maybe there's an emergency and the main military is already overstressed, they can call on the National Guard, federalize it, and to do the job. If we have that kind of system here in Nigeria, as a National Guard, like for example now, Oyo State National Guard or Oyo State National Army Guard, they can go into all those forests and dismantle everything because they are under the control of the...
What about Amotekun? If Amotekun is well armed with the modern equipment and training, they can sweep this whole forest of these terrorists.
Exactly.
But what is holding them? Because Abuja says they cannot use automatic weapons. Can you believe that? You want to fight terrorists, but you can't use automatic weapons.
So we should use Dingon.
And now, Shakabula.
And now, do you know who is even urging the National Security Advisor, the Fulani man, Ibadan? So what do you expect?
Well, there you have your answer.
You can't expect it.
Baba, let me take another one.
Yeah. Let me give you
Thank you so much for always, okay? You stay safe and please stay safe. It's so important.
Yeah.
Have a good one. So thank you so much there. I have another caller. I bet this is the Prince Adewale, the African Wahala. How are you, Baba?
Yes, sir, my brother. I'm good. I'm doing very well.
Fantastic.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I remember when this guy, Bashir Magashi, told us to defend ourselves against Fulani terrorists with catapults.
By the way, I want you to say that too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Minister of Defense of a failed country. Yes, he told us to defend ourselves from terrorists with machine guns, with catapults. Meanwhile, his boss...
away from terrorists.
Yeah, he said we are not cowards. Don't be cowards. Go and fight against them with catapults. Meanwhile, his boss in Asshole Rock was shocked whenever people were killed or kidnapped because he was, what was that word that Lalong used? He was an outsider in his government.
Yes.
So the people that died, no justice for them. Their lives don't matter. The people whose businesses were destroyed, the people that died, most importantly, the people that are left maimed with permanent disabilities, nothing for them. So Nigeria would always show us that it's not a real country. It's a contraption, and it's never ever going to work. Personally, that's what I believe.
Yes.
Now, the reason I called in was because I was looking at the Mahama speech in Ghana, and they said something profound. They said, while inviting Ibrahim Traore on stage, they mentioned, the meaning of Burkina Faso is the upright people, upstanding people, something like that. The people with integrity.
Integrity people.
Yes, exactly. That alone is another reason why these shameless animals like Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, these shameless idiots, all those animals that go claim that they are representatives of Nigeria, they travel around the world pretending like they are actually representing a country. They wear the badge of, I'm a Nigerian official, so recognize me because we have a real country. These idiots, these animals that are ministers and governors and the president, Tinubu, they should be ashamed of themselves, because if Burkina Faso could have changed its name from the slave name Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, something that has a meaning in their language, and Ghana did the same thing, changed its name from the Gold Coast to Ghana, which has a meaning in their language. But these shameless idiots, and this is also an opportunity for people to maybe do some research into their history, because there is no way you should be proud of an entity, an entity that was given a slave name, Niger area, by a couple who, I heard Flora Shaw was using Frederick Lugard to do Yanga for the longest time. They ended up getting married in their mid-40s or towards their 50s. They had no children. If such a couple could have come together and give this useless contraption a name, Nigeria, that has no meaning to anybody anywhere in the world, and people are proud to bear that useless name, I just don't get it. Personally, I don't get it. So it's what, Nigeria disappointed us so much.
To them, they don't know that a name can't just be a name has to have something that what do you call it, traditionally or religiously connected to you. It has to be something that spiritually you have to have some connection to that.
Exactly.
I am not closer to the River Niger, so I can't be a Nigerian if not because of this. What do you call it? I can't be somebody from the Niger area. I am not closer to the Niger, right? So you force people from the hinterland and the people from the wetland to the people of the Sahara, and you force the name on them, and here we are with serious identity crisis, isn't it?
And they're telling us that we are one Nigeria. I mean, if this stupid country, Marigo, this country punished us so much that it made some of us start researching. We started researching into our history, and thank you to Princess Balogun. Happy birthday to her. She shared a very important book in the comment section about one of those European British women that was in the contraption. Back then there was no contraption. It was the Yoruba country in the late 1800s, before the Berlin Conference.
That's right.
Okay, so in that book, she was describing how the people basically had a country. So we had a country. But this contraption that was given to us has destroyed our lives, made all of us poor. At least 85% of the population is poor, and it has been that way consistently for 125 years. So why is anybody still proud of such a contraption that the name has no spiritual meaning? In fact, that name is bringing a curse upon that land. That name is bringing a curse upon the people. So we are very, very upset.
People just want to be like positive. Let's be positive. You can't be positive in the face of negativity that is pretty much like ingrained in us. We carry this negativity around, and then you want to be positive about that. That's living in denial. People need to understand that saying these things doesn't mean that we are the hater. No, it may be inconvenient. They're like inconvenient truth, all right? But why are you afraid of dropping something that has been so negative towards us all our lives? Why are the people afraid?
I have the answer. Marigo, I have the answer. It's because people have been indoctrinated throughout their lives, and it's very hard to break that indoctrination. It's the same way you find people, they understand that their pastors are pastorpreneurs that are stealing their money, but they just can't break that chain because they've been mentally and spiritually sacrificed to that entity. The same way many people have been mentally, spiritually sacrificed to this fake, useless contraption. Marigo, thank you for letting me rant, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much all the time too. You know, you should have a good one, okay? Indeed, it may sound, you know, especially if you are just watching Mayegun's Diary Politico. I have people who have tried to say we should be positive. There are convenient truth. There are inconvenient truth. Convenient truth is a lie. It's just a fancy word to make it look like it's all right. But sometimes maybe when we keep repeating or reminding ourselves what is really wrong, and we stop living in denial, okay? The denial of what we do know, or we don't want to believe it's our reality. So inconvenient truth is the truth. The one that you are never going to be happy to hear, or you are also going to be happy at the end of it all, that you know. Nigeria is where we all come from. And this is the identity that we are carrying about. But it is not our identity. No matter how much we want to make it look normal, because this is our reality, right? It is still not normal. There's something better. And that is the real person, the real people that we have. And that is the one they are telling us that it should be secondary. For example, somebody will say, my Yorubaness is more important than my Nigerianness. Isn't that like a mental health problem? Because in reality, right, in reality, majority of us would defend our different ethnic nationalities than we would defend Nigeria. In truth, if somebody says something about the Yorubas right now, some of us will take offense. Yeah, even though you might be a one Nigerianist. Somebody says something right now and it is not true about the Yorubas. You will take offense. You will become enraged. And if you have your way of kind of like hitting that person, you will do it. If somebody says something that is not right about the Igbos, you will get mad, angrier. Won't you? If your tribe or your ethnic nationality is mentioned in a derogatory way, you'll be very angry. Because that's who you are. There is nobody that is patriotic to Nigeria. Even those who claim to be, they are a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah, those who claim to be patriotic to Nigeria, they are not. Some of them will tell you they are patriotic to Nigeria because if Nigeria is paying their bills, if they are benefiting from the rot, it's like those people who are now shouting that they love Nigeria because of thiefnubu right now. Like a few years back, these were people who wanted Nigeria to break up. Yeah, they were Yorubas. Let's break it up. This country is going to let us break it up. I prefer Yoruba nation. But today, because a Yoruba man is your president, and some of them are getting political appointments or benefiting from the political arrangements, suddenly they love Nigeria. Suddenly, anybody who talks about Nigeria in a negative way, that person must be dealt with. We must all come together and make this country work because they're not the chop. That is hypocrisy. That is something that a lot of us have in us. We do have it in us. I love Yoruba land. I love Yoruba people. I love everything about Yoruba land. And if you say something negative about Yoruba, I will be upset. Yeah, I will be upset. Oh, you can say whatever you want about Nigeria. It won't really bother me. And there are many of us like that. Millions of us like that. There are some of us who are like openly will say it, and like we are not bothered. If you want to say anything about Nigeria, say whatever you want about Nigeria. I'm just like, well, I can't. Nigerians are criminals. Nigerians are in jail there and there. It's none of my business. Like, even though it should be, it should be, because the stigma is what we all carried about. I mean, we carry it around. We carry that around. But the truest, the reality is that we are more loyal to our tribes and our ethnic nationalities. We are more loyal to them than we are to this contraption Nigeria. So why can't you be that honest? Why do you want to be politically correct? Why do you want to sound as if to say, you know what I mean? By lying to yourself or lying to everyone will make it kind of like better. Stop it. I'm not saying there are not some of you who are gullible enough to believe in this one contraption Nigeria, because yes, we do have people like that. Especially those of you that love Nigeria from abroad. Nigeria is a very beautiful country. You see, the only problem of Nigeria is bad leadership. Let me tell you something. Nigeria can work. That's my friend who lives in California, or who is currently living in London, or living in Canada. Nigeria is a beautiful country. I said, how come you are not relocating back to that beautiful country? Because at least now, go make it better. Nobody say you go to love Nigeria from abroad. You have no plan of living there. You have to be living there. See, if you believe so much in Nigeria, you should leave Canada, leave America, leave UK. Go back to that Nigeria to make it work. But you are not interested in making it work because you are deluded, making yourself feel like other people should do it for you. Me, I don't believe in Nigeria. Do you understand? So don't ask me to go back to Nigeria and make it work. I don't want it to work. Because it can't work and it will never work. That is that is my reality. And I don't deny it. I don't pretend that, okay, or maybe I have another belief that maybe it can work. Or maybe if I am the one in charge, it will. No, I don't. I understand these differences and I respect our differences. In fact, it is the uniqueness of our differences that gives people like us clarity. I mean, people like us clarity. That yes, we can be different. And there's nothing bad in that. In that difference, acknowledging that difference, in fact, could be the beauty. What they call diversity. The diversity, our differences, is a beautiful thing. It can only be a beautiful thing if we acknowledge them. You need to first acknowledge our differences, respect our differences, and then maybe have an agreement that says the Igbos, they will not take anything like this from anybody. Say, okay, fine. We respect that. The Hausas will not take anything like this from anybody. You say, yes, we respect that. The Yorubas will not accept anything like this from anybody. I say, okay, yes, this is what Yorubas will not accept. So we kind of give everybody that regard by acknowledging and recognizing their differences. Then if they now say, okay, once we respect all these differences, so on these terms, that terms, they are the terms of us coming together to coexist. Then you can talk about having a country. Not somebody just saying that we are one because we all have black skins. We are all black. Yeah, we are Africans. Go to hell. We are Africans. We are one. We are this or that. Hey, let's forget our differences. Are you mad? Forget your differences. So that someone, and this is it all, and they tell you that let's forget all our differences and come together as brothers and sisters. That is why a Fulani terrorist will carry AK-47 and walk straight to Ogbomoso and start killing people, because he didn't give a damn about the Ogbomosos and the Ogbomoso people's, what do you call it, their uniqueness or whatever, their difference and all of that. He doesn't give a damn. He believes he can do it because we are one. We are not one. You know? Something that people need to understand. There's nothing wrong in our differences. Our differences are called diversity. Okay? If you go to India, for example, the supposed most populated country in the world, I think, right? Which one is more populated? Is it India or China? I think China is 1.4. No, sorry, China is 1.2 billion. India is 1.4 billion. Sorry if I'm kind of like putting them side by side anyway. But if you go to India, you will see hundreds of different tribes, ethnic, this and that, you get, with their own uniqueness. To some extent, well-defined and acknowledged and recognized. So you need the same thing. So when the Pakistanis, who was once part of India, when they felt like, no, we can't be part of India, we are Pakistanis, they got their own countries. Malaysia, you are supposed to be part of India. No, we don't want to be part of India. We want to be on our own country. They had their own country. So similarly, you can't force people who have nothing in common together just simply because they look the same or they kind of look closer alike. No, that's rubbish. In common together just simply look the same or they kind of look.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you, Baba?
I'm very fine. I just want to add my own observation in what you said now about India.
Please, sir, go on.
People know that in India, even though they use English at some of their universities, they still use different languages they have from primary to secondary school. It's only when you want to maybe further for international study outside India, that's when you now want to learn English, maybe to come to England or go to the United States, Russia. Then you now choose whatever language you want to study in those countries. So in context, let's say, since we're in Nigeria, somebody from Southwest can decide, I'm not living in Nigeria, I only want to study in Nigeria, then the language I used to study will be Yoruba.
Yes.
Another person will decide that, oh, so they have universities where you can study even medicine in their native language.
Study medicine, science in Yoruba. Or in Hausa.
Why can't you are a Hausa person? And it's not if these languages are not developed. They are developed.
Yeah.
If you can have Bible
in all languages.
In all languages.
So why can't we have our study, our schools?
And we believe that God is the source of knowledge. And maybe the supreme knowledge is religious knowledge. And that's okay for people who believe in religion. And maybe science is a sub knowledge for religion. You cannot now study what God has endowed you in your own natural language. Automatically, you'll be subservient to the language you are studying in.
That's right. Because
you can never understand
language to actually die. And they succeeded.
Exactly.
They succeeded to some extent.
The same thing happens in Russia. Do people know that even in Russia, they have their own, it's Russian that was it combines them. I think in Dagestan, the Arabic is even an official language there, and they use Sharia in the Dagestani Republic in Russia. So there's something about black mentality. I don't want to ascribe it to black, but unfortunately, if you look at the world in terms of ethnicity, there's something very, very about black mentality. Where is this our colonial mindset that's still affecting us? And it still boils down to our leadership. If our leadership today says, look, this country, we are different, we have different ethnicity, but we can make it work, let everybody studying their language. Even it is affecting the transfer of knowledge from generation to generation. Like
for those who kind of can still remember, but we're not actually put in that line. Look at them in China. I said something. I said, if to say that China colonized Nigeria, you and I today, now Mandarin will go to speak.
Yes, now.
So there's nothing to say because we are colonized by English. English is our official language. What the heck, man? The same English also colonized India now. And English is not the official language in India as we speak. So our uniqueness, which they call our I mean, they say tongues and whatever may differ, like thiefnubu's new anthem, right? But that tongue and whatever that you're saying is differ, I mean, may differ, is actually our strength. So if we are forced to be part of a contraption that says my language is vernacular, don't speak in vernacular. My own Yoruba is vernacular. That means it's a secondary language. It is not acceptable. Speak in English. This was how we were raised. You don't speak your language, you're speaking in vernacular. I had to pay penalty for speaking Yoruba. If you go on things in Yoruba, you pay penalty for that.
You'll be beaten by your class teacher. Germany has the highest Germany has one of the best economy in Europe. Their core science subjects are taught in German.
Yes.
There are some courses in Germany that they are very top-notch courses that you cannot get in other universities. And even if you get it, maybe you are a top student for another country. If you don't understand German, they will never ever admit you to those courses.
Abi, how you want to cope? When you're all the course materials, your lecturer, everybody is speaking German. So how do you want to cope if you're not speaking German yourself? People don't understand power in languages, Baba. Unfortunately, we are being led by rogues who will listen to this and they are completely lost. They don't even know what to do to it. They just feel like, well, that's us. That's how we're going to be forever. But you know, the advantage of breaking up is that if this contraption breaks up, you can start afresh.
Yes.
Begin to build institutions around your language, your culture, your tradition, everything that is yours. If you want to build your defense, you build it around your language, your culture, the system that is yours. Totally. But this one, it be like a dry fish. If you try to want to change it, you go break up. So we know
exactly. You said something now. You said something now about defense.
Yeah.
Imagine that the software that are being used to program Nigerian military system either in Igbo language or Igbo
Hausa,
or Yoruba
or any other languages for that matter.
And these things are
people don't even understand the power in that. This is too much for them. If see, some people who are listening to us right now will just be like, that's too much. People just try to live together. You can't live together with people you don't have anything in common with, no matter how long you pretend. We have been pretending all these years. Look at where that has led us. Yeah.
So you now have a situation where we are just like a perturbation, you know, where perturbation of some you don't know the difference between a cow, a buffalo, a stag, you know, an antelope. Everybody's just clashing heads together.
And hoping that it will work.
And it will work. You carry Fulani white plus Wagyu beef plus Angus, now thinking that you get one super cattle breed.
It's unfortunate.
So,
anyway,
thank you very much for the opportunity and have a good evening.
Okay, you have a very good evening, sir. Again, on Mayegun's Diary Political, you can look at us and maybe even judge us like we are too ambitious and our dreams are unrealistic. But to us, our dreams are very, very realizable, very realistic. What we don't have yet is the number. But when we do, our dreams are very much realistic. Those who are holding us down today, they won't be holding us down forever. And that is why one by one, two by two, I believe that the right audience that needed to know about these things, they will tap into it. And then if any of us found ourselves in the position of power or authority, you have no idea how much influence this can have on people, especially people who have been groomed through this platform, who have done researches, who have been encouraged to do more researches about our exposés on Mayogun's diary political and what they have discovered and how much influence that has on them, until one day you will see them in position of authority and they will turn the wheel, this wheel of stagnation which Nigeria has placed on us. They will turn the wheel into the right direction that you think is impossible if you are a pessimist listening to this. Hello there.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Twin Princess.
Oh, Princess Malo, good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Happy birthday. We are all saying birthday greetings to you. I have CEO. I don't know how this is going to work, all right? I have this voucher that could actually buy you birthday wine, right? And I know that Elder King usually come to London. So maybe you order your wine, right? And it will bring them over to you, even though it is better than ever, okay? So I'm going to scan it for you and send it to you. Just go on to nakedwines.com, all right? Try this voucher, all right? And you buy yourself some wine, bottles of wine, okay?
All right, Baba. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome, all right? Thank you so much as well. So please, let me scan
I was going to talk about, I was going to talk about the people saying our language is vernacular and all that. See, I have said it several years, my ego. The people we are dealing with, these white supremacists and, white lives matters and all that shenanigans. Do you know the amount, the percentage of these people in the whole world? They are about 7%. Whatever it is they are fighting for, whatever weapon they are building, whatever languages they try to change, whatever name they try to give Africans, taking our name from Makibolan to Africa. Do you know what it means? Changing people's name, calling Ghana, Ghana. Somebody said Cameroon is shrimps in German.
Wow.
They just came up with these names and gave it out to people, calling their languages vernacular.
Zimbabwe after one mad colonial thug called Rhodesia. They actually called they called Zimbabweans Rhodesians until they changed their name back to Zimbabwe.
So you can imagine people calling Hitler. Calling Hitler one of the greatest enemies of whatever, because he killed Europeans, because Europeans were involved. The other guy from Belgium that was amputating people's hands and legs in Africa killed millions.
Yeah, now King Leopold.
He has never been placed on the spotlight. If we start this conversation about my two kids were in my room a few days ago, and one was saying, "No, I'm smarter." The other one said, "Okay, if you're smart, what is Pythagoras theorem?" And I had to just come in, and I told them that being smart shouldn't be westernized. Our people have been smart, have been living free, they have their own civilization in a kind of way. They have their ruling, they have their religion, they are a thriving society. But when these people are not there,
the Benin Kingdom had street lights before London.
Yeah, and it had one of the greatest walls, longer than Great Wall of China. They won't put you on the spotlight. It is inferiority complex, Mayego. These people feel very inferior to us. It is only an African woman that can give birth to a Chinese, a Caucasian, whatever it is. We are mother. We are the one. We are mother. We are mothers. We are everything, Mayego. So that alone, see, our hair is even working against gravity. If you see the way we keep our afro, These things kill these people. Complex ni, setting ni. So I told my children that knowing Pythagoras theorem doesn't make you smart. If you are a market woman and you can sell your pepper and remove your cost price and keep your profit, you are literate. When Femi Fanika come online and see if it is speaking English that is the main thing in this world. When you speak this language sometimes and you don't speak it right, some people will just come at you. You
get so Yoruba ni.
So
I used to have English teachers on Mayegun's Diary Political. You get that?
All these things are people are messed up.
I said, ask Oyibo to come and speak Yoruba fluently the way I speak.
Civilization and being literate doesn't mean you have to be westernized. Our children should start knowing that. Start telling them their history. They are the future we are waiting for. They are the future we are waiting for. Our children are the future we are waiting for. And we will see them thrive. They will get to places. The next generation see. This Gen Z, I am very sure that Gen Z, majority of Gen Z will not do 9 to 5. They are changing the status quo. So imagine what the Gen Alphas will do. Well, let's just do the needful and set the pace for them.
Exactly.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
All right. So
thank you so much.
You have a wonderful evening over there. Okay. Thank you so much. Here, I think our time is now kind of like exhausted now. So we have had a long round night as well as an informative night. So to those of you who started with us, lovely. Thank you so much for your time. I'm thinking that, you see, I have this visit to the gym, and I usually go to the gym in the morning, after the school run. And sometimes when I come back like that, I don't know, I just kind of feel so exhausted that I just want to sleep. So I've not been to the gym now for a while, so I'm returning or resuming tomorrow. So I'm feeling like I'm going to be tired, but if I'm not, I think we should start our reading again. We should continue our afternoon reading about the events that led to, the creation of this contraption and other things that have happened historically in that place. So I am thinking we should start our reading now, or continue our reading. We have loads and loads of books here that we intended to read last year, but somehow we stopped midway. So it's not going to be about the number of people that showed up, okay? It's just the people that showed up. So you should be one of them that showed up. You can listen to the book reading like you are listening to a podcast. You can be doing other things you want to do. You don't really have to sit there and watch if you have to be doing something else, okay? So I think we should start. And if you are in support of us starting or to continue our readings, please make sure that you always show up as well, okay? To give it a share. So the rest of us this evening, thank you. I'm going to see you again some other time. That will be tomorrow. If I don't see you in the afternoon, I will definitely see you in the evening time, okay? So please share this, like it, all right? Subscribe to the channel as well. And please don't forget again to also help us chip in your own widow's mite into the Yoruba Union contribution and donations, okay? Fundraiser. We'll be always grateful to you. So everyone else, good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Ayíbi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Ayíbi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary. ṣe ń lọ ni máyégún já wa sí.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
bó bá ṣe eré àní máyégún máa wí.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ máyégún.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
máyégún dáyàrí na ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà gbówó jẹ.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ̀ olóṣèlú.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
máyégún ti dé.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.